sharing it with the public, and that's very helpful. And I agree that it looks like a very responsible plan for spending to reduce it. My questions tonight are more about revenue, because of course the budget is presented with the revenue and the expenditure in balance, which is the normal procedure, and you've done that. But overall, there's a $4.7 million overall reduction in both, which is the 6.22% you referred to. And most of that reduction is in the first category, which is the property taxes, which I think Ms. Belton also talked about as being a major driver in the financial fortunes of Petersburg. My question were the past revenue projections, like the projections that were used in building the 16 budget, were those both inflated, or are we lowballing the projections for 17? And I heard one of the things that you said was that you were talking about we might, by having very conservative revenue projections, that might produce some surplus revenue. But I think there was also a comment that revising the revenue projections would be more in line with the actual experience. So that's really what I'm questioning, not so much saying I have an issue with it, but I'd like to understand that better, because it really, either the budget that is before you today is accurate in terms of the revenue, or it's very understated and the past budgets were accurate. It seems like, from what we've heard from financial reports, that at least the last one that we had, is that the revenue collection was sort of behind. But the statement's been made a couple times that a lot of that revenue comes in the last half and the last quarter of the fiscal year. So based on the information that was presented to the public so far, it's kind of hard to project off of that. So I think you remember you said that we would end up like about $2 million behind at the end of 16. So I think you've incorporated that into this. So I would like to know more, though, if it can be shared, about how the revenue projections in the property tax area were developed. Are they more? Is it more having to do with the 16 budget revenue projections were too high and they didn't make, or are we trying to build a surplus? Because I don't think those two things are different. The other thing this just came up from your presentation in talking about the fleet replacement. I noticed you pointed that out, that's a strategy that you're working on with the fire department and the police department. But it looked from the actual figures on what was online was that the fleet equipment is about $500,000 in the proposed budget, and it was $1.8 million in the previous budget. So I don't understand what you were presenting, how that was. We have some plan to work on improving our fleet when it looks like that was one of the biggest areas of budget cuts in there. Okay, I'm through, but I do appreciate this opportunity to ask questions, and I hope even if there are enough questions that you'll consider having a budget work session. Thank you.
And I ask everyone when you come to the mic to please state your name and your address.